Well, folks in these parts remember the Alamo as one of the first big battles for the Republic of Texas. The Riverwalk, downtown San Antonio, and the Alamodome, where tonight another first will take place as the Rangers take on the San Diego Padres in the first baseball game indoors at the Alamodome. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Glad to have you along for this momentous occasion. Baseball's never been played here. This facility, built 20 years ago, basically for football, has hosted almost everything but a baseball game. That's all going to change here tonight. And for the Rangers going to the Hill, a continuation of the spring tune-ups, if you will, Alexi Ogando, his last start.
You know, Ogando pitched really well, Buzz, the game we broadcast against Cincinnati. Early in spring training, he struggled a little bit, especially with his command. But in that game against Cincinnati, 82 pitches, 6 innings, no runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Pitched an excellent game. He'll be starting the 3rd game of the season in Houston. This is his tune-up for that game. Wants to build off of that last good start that he had.
And very much like last night with Yu Darvish, you don't expect Alexi Ogando to go much more than 4 innings or maybe 5 at the outside. But in any event, he will get the tune-up needed to get him ready for the regular season. Rangers looking to get back on the winning side of things. They have lost 4 straight. Tonight they will take on the Padres and the short porch here in the Alamodome. We'll tell you all about it when we come back next with Rangers baseball on this Friday night. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best-selling trucks for 36 straight years. Ford is the best in Texas. By TXU Energy, the right things right now. 1-866-CALL-TXU. And by AT&T Uverse TV. A lot of pregame festivities going on here at the Alamodome, rightfully so. Youngsters at each position as the Rangers take the field, and they will get the signed baseball from that particular position player. And tonight, since it's probably the starting lineup for the Rangers taking the field, it's going to be something these youngsters will remember for quite a while. David Murphy and company handling the signing chores. Elvis Andrus, A.J. Pierzynski, and Ellie Cruz out there. So that chore is taken care of, and about ready to get down to business for the first ever baseball game here in San Antonio at the Alamodome. 21 years ago this facility opened, and here's the San Diego Padre batting order tonight. They will face Ogando. Everett Cabrera is the shortstop. He leads off. In right field, Will Venable. Carlos Quinton is the designated hitter. Yonder Alonso bats cleanup, plays first base. The left fielder is Jesus Guzman. Jed Jerko, the youngster at third base, he bats 6th. Nick Hundley is the catcher. In center field, batting 8th, Cameron Maben. And Alexi Amarista is the second baseman, batting 9th.
Pitching for the Rangers, Alexi Ogando. Talked in the open about his last start. It was an excellent start against Cincinnati. Threw 82 pitches, 6 innings. Very efficient with his pitches. Good assortment of off-speed pitches in that game. Didn't give up a run, only walked 1 batter. Earlier in the spring, a little bit of a command issue. But last game he threw the ball great. Hoping to back that up with another good one today as he gets ready to start the 3rd game of the season in Houston.
Ron Washington and Dave Magadan. Jackie Moore out on the seats. One of the oddities in this ballpark, and obviously, since it's built for football, they don't have true dugouts. They had to manufacture some, basically, and they're just cavern areas, if you will, that are made out of the tunnels that go under the seats.
Well, based on this not being a baseball field and the fact that there's never been a game here, and they didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare the field for it, they've done a pretty good job.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you.
It actually looks great.
You are right. You are right. Large down the left field line at 354, 410, going out to just about 420 in straightaway center. And then the short porch in right at 285 with a 16-foot high wall out there. 2 balls and no strikes is the count to Everett Cabrera. Shortstop leading off for San Diego. It's foul back and out of play, and the count is 2-1.
Last start that Alexi had against Cincinnati back in Arizona, A.J. Pierzynski really asked him to throw a lot of off-speed pitches, really work on his slider, change speeds with his slider. Some of them look more like a curveball. Did throw some change-ups, which is a pitch he's working on. But that's his bread and butter right there, his fastball.
Yeah, that sets up everything when he gets that going. And with that kind of fastball, he doesn't have to worry about being real fine with it. I mean, that's a quality pitch when it's in the strike zone. The 2-2. That's slap foul. Cabrera just a defensive swing, staying alive. Numbers for Cabrera this spring. He's had a big spring, and these Padres have had a big spring too. They're 16 and 18, but they have ripped the cover off the ball. 286 the team average. Popped up, this on the infield and playable. Stumbling on the mound a bit. It's Adrian Beltre. He looks at it as if to say, "Where'd you come from?"
Yep. He knows right where it is, but still, when you're concentrating on the ball, it still poses a little bit of a problem. Not going to move.
Now the Ranger defense, you saw Beltre at third, Andrus and Kinsler up the middle, Moreland at first. Outfield of Murphy, Martin, and Cruz, left, center, and right. A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate, and Alexi Ogando is on the hill. One out. Will Venable will come to the plate. A 200 hitter for the spring. And Ogando deals strike one to it.
The biggest concern down around the batting cage before the game was whether or not they were going to have enough batting practice balls for today and tomorrow. The way the balls were just flying out of here to right field. Obviously, it's different in the game facing a big league pitcher. They'll probably, over the next couple of days, there'll be a few hit out there that are more like pop-ups that would have been caught in a regular season game. But in batting practice, it was just really obvious. Line drives, just normal line drives, were just smashing off the middle of that wall out there.
A lot of times in batting practice, you'll see right-handed hitters take the ball the other way the first time around just to get his timing down. That's it high in the air to deep right center field. Martin is back. That ball's gone.
That one was not a product of a short porch in right field. That was a product of he launched it about 420 feet.
Well up in the batter's eye, the black netting out there covering the seats in center and slightly into right center. And Will Venable with his fourth home run of the spring gets the Padres on top.
Well, he was geared up for the fastball, and he got one belt high and right out over the plate. And he put a charge in that one. That's not one of the pop-ups that sneak out of the ballpark. That was way out of here. 410 to center field. And that one probably went a little farther than that.
And a breaking ball from Ogando to Carlos Quentin. As you get a look at Padre bench, Will Venable. Yu Darvish's buddy, Will Venable. Goes back to last year. And Venable hit one off the wall in dead center field in the first appearance that Yu Darvish had against an opposition club. And Venable kind of got on Darvish after the ballgame. Darvish was asked what he thought of Venable's shot. He said, "Well, I didn't think he hit it quite that well." And Venable said, "Hey, that's my best bolt."
Well, he's not exactly Mark McGwire, so it might have been his best bolt.
Waved at and missed, and down on strikes, Carlos Quentin. That's out number 2.
Well, Quentin's been battling a knee problem. He's trying to decide whether he'll be ready to start the season. Obviously, in the National League, you don't have the benefit of the DH, which is probably what they'd love to do with Carlos Quentin to start the season until he knows he's 100% healthy.
The two-away base is empty. Yonder Alonso, the first baseman, will now come to the plate, the cleanup man. That's hit the other way to left field. David Murphy just about in his tracks. In a few steps, and that'll do it. Well, the one-out home run by Venable gets San Diego on the board. A run on a hit. Half an inning in the books. San Diego 1, Texas coming up. Ranger baseball with the home run. And now the Rangers come to bat. Ron Washington throws this lineup out there. Ian Kinsler leads off. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, bats second. DH is Lance Berkman. Cleaning up here, playing third base, Adrian Beltre. Nelson Cruz moves up a spot. He's batting fifth. The left fielder, David Murphy, hits sixth. A.J. Brzezinski is the catcher. Mitch Moreland batting eighth, playing first. Leonis Martin, the start in center, and he bats ninth.
Eric Stoltz on the mound for San Diego. He was a waiver claim from the White Sox last May and then pitched very well for San Diego. Last year he was 8-3 with a 2.92 ERA. He had 14 starts. Pitched 90-plus innings. Pitched very well for them. He's earned the role as the third starter. He will start the third game of the season for the Padres. This is his tune-up for that ball game.
And here's Ian Kinsler, a 233 hitter. You have to remember now the statistics that were in use tonight do not include last night's game. Of course, Kinsler had a home run. The Rangers had 4 of them. He pounds this one to center field. Going back is Maben. Near the warning track, he puts the brakes on. And that's out number 1.
We've got a unique look at the ball game today, Buzz, from right behind, well, down the left field line behind third base. The only time I've ever broadcast a game that was not done from behind home plate. So we got the monitor to see the pitcher and the batter, but our view of the game is a little bit different.
Kind of feels like
us up there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Kind of feels like the fans' view sitting up here just talking baseball.
Yeah.
So what was that pitch? I don't know.
Chris Blake won't wave. Wave, Chris. Your mom's watching. That's better.
Here's Elvis Andrus. And Stoltz misses high and away. The breaking ball stayed up there. It's ball 1. And anyway, statistically, the Rangers' stats are the same as they were before last night's ball game. They have not changed, and that looks like it's going to be a base hit for Elvis. Jerko picks it up, hands it to Stoltz going by, and Elvis has got a base hit. No, it wasn't a bunt. Yes, he was showing the guys. That's where he would have put it, though, if he had bunted it.
Well, Jerko is one of their good young players that's getting a chance to play at the big league level. He's scheduled to be the second baseman, but Chase Headley got hurt, broke a bone in his hand sliding into second base. Their all-star third baseman from last year. So Jerko has moved over to third to start the season. They hope Headley will be ready probably around the middle of May. Headley had a huge year for them last year. I didn't realize what kind of a year he had.
Yeah.
31 home runs, 115 RBIs.
Lance Berkman, the DH, takes high and away for ball 1.
Well, that'll be a big loss for them the first month of the season.
Yeah, and the Padres not an overly powerful offensive team anyway, and you lose the big guy in the middle of the order, and that's a huge loss. And stakes low and outside, 2-0 now. Berkman, the switch hitter, up there from the right side against the southpaw Stoltz. Elvis Andrus at the infield single at first base. And ball 3 misses.
A lot of hitters will fish for that 2-0 changeup. That's a pretty good pitch. But Lance isn't one of them. It's tough to fool him, and it's very tough to get him to swing a pitch out of the strike zone.
3 balls, no strikes. And a strike on the outside corner. Belt high. Berkman maybe a half step toward first.
Well, he was ready to swing if he threw him a strike, but he's patient enough to know that that wasn't the kind of pitch you do want to swing at when it counts 3-0. Borderline pitch.
A little toss to first, and Elvis not going anywhere. Home plate umpire tonight, by the way, calling the balls and strikes, Jordan Baker. And he's joined by Todd Tishner and Lance Barrett, Seth Buckminster, on the base pass. Ripping foul tip. Now the count is full. Well, you would think, even though there's just 1 out, that Elvis will be moving. Ron Washington likes to get his base runners going if they have the speed. And a full count, less than 2 outs. Berkman hitting third. He'll be followed by the cleanup man. It's Adrian Beltre. Left-hander ready, a check of first. Payoff pitch, Elvis going. Pitch is outside and low, ball 4. And that will put 2 aboard. And boy, coming up, Hundley out of his crouch, looking back at Jordan Baker. He thought it was a strike. And Baker said, nope, it was not.
I think Lance Berkman is one of the few hitters that's going to take that pitch. It's a really good pitch. It's a changeup on a 3-2 pitch, fastball count, borderline pitch, but this is the kind of discipline that he has. He's able to check his swing. Ball's probably just a little bit outside, not by much. But again, most right-hand hitters are going to swing at that pitch, but he's very patient.
The ability to do that is why Berkman has an on-base percentage over 400 for his career.
Yep.
Adrian Beltre takes a strike on the inside corner. 2 on, 1 out. Beltre, a home run, 6 driven in. An average of 261, but it's on the rise.
We were talking about this earlier in the spring, too. One of the differences in the Rangers' offense this year would be. Looks like it's out of play. Probably not the same power numbers that Josh Hamilton supplied batting in the middle of the lineup. But Lance Berkman will have a much higher on-base percentage. And so that will give opportunities to Beltre, Cruz, and Murphy, the guys that are hitting after him. They'll probably have more opportunities to drive in runs now than they did last year. There's 3 good guys that you like to have up to the plate with those opportunities.
And I can't imagine the middle of this lineup having as much trouble as they had last year scoring runners with less than 2 outs from third base. I mean, that was a very difficult thing. Oh, what a play by Cabrera to second and back to first, a double play. And Everett Cabrera robbing Adrian Beltre, turns it 2, and that'll do it for the Rangers. No runs a hit, 1 man left. On to the second we go, 1-0 San Diego in the Alamodome. The upper home run porch for every game include unlimited grilled chicken sandwiches, hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and soft drinks for all one low price. The all-you-can-eat menu is served in the air-conditioned upper home run porch grill. Get your tickets today, TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Top of inning number 2, San Diego on top 1-0. Jesus Guzman will lead things off. The left fielder takes a strike from Alexi Ogando. Ogando gave up the 1-out home run in the first inning to Will Venable. Guzman, second on the Padres club with those 4 spring home runs this year. A ball and a strike. Ogando standing side saddle, goes into the wide. Breaking ball. He's on top now, a ball and 2 strikes to Guzman. Elvis knocks it down, recovers, throws, and gets it. Well, there's another reason a good strong arm is a real plus. A little bit away from Elvis, but he had enough of an arm to take his time getting the ball and was still able to get the throw to first. A guy that doesn't have a real strong arm is going to hurry that play and more often than not come up with it cleanly the second time. So 1 away. The youngster Jed Jerko, the third baseman. Tom told you the story with Headley breaking the tip of his thumb. So Jerko, who was a third baseman by trade, the Padres converting him to second in anticipation of this season. And Headley coming up with that injury just lately. So Jerko back to his normal position. 3 home runs, 10 driven in for the youngster. One ball and 1 strike. Make that 2-1. Ogando's next offering. That stays a little bit inside, it looked like. 3 balls and a strike. And Alexei, you can see a little perturbed look as he stared out into center field, getting that ball back. Ripping a high fastball. Now the count has gone full.
Jerko had a good year last year when he got called up to AAA at 24 home runs, knocked in 80 runs. Guy that they're looking at to be a young player to develop and provide offense in the middle of their lineup. he goes back to second base. That'll be a real plus, having a guy with power at second base when Headley comes back to play third.
Jerko fouling off that first 3-2 pitch. We're going to try it again. Again, the payoff offering. Just outside. Ball 4.
That had to be a strike.
Well, Gondo issues his first walk, and not by much. Ron Washington keeping an eye on things. You don't typically see a lot of questioning of pitch calls in spring training. I guess only Mike Scioscia gets himself in season shape by questioning the last week or so. Fastball to Nick Hundley, the catcher. It's strike 1. Hundley a good spring. Those numbers would tell you that. 375 with a 423 on base percentage. And a foul back.
A couple of years ago, Hundley hit 288. Provided some decent offense from the catcher spot. Last year, 157. He had over 200 at bat. So Padres and Hundley hoping he can bounce back. Spring training's any indication. Looks like he can. He just got into a rut last year and couldn't get out of it, evidently.
In the dirt, and that gets away from Brzezinski and down to second base on the wild pitch. We'll go Jerko. No, wild pitch gets a Jerko in scoring position. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Hundley. Looked like Brzezinski in a pretty good job, pretty good spot to block that ball. Just came up and got him on the shin guard. Kind of a crazy bounce away from him. And there's another one in the dirt. This one he keeps a little bit closer. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Second straight slider that Alexi has pulled into the dirt on the outside part. Now he's ready for the 2-2. All 3. Now this is the kind of problem that Ogando was having earlier in the spring, where it was really a roller coaster ride as far as command was concerned. Felt he'd had a couple of flaws. Mike Maddox worked with him mechanically to smooth things out. Thought he had it pretty well solved. It's a big strikeout here. A swing and a miss by Hundley. That's out number 2.
One thing we've seen in the last couple of games we've seen Alexi is he has no reluctance to throw that slider no matter what the count is. That's for sure. He's thrown it already in this game several times on behind the count. 3-2. If you're a hitter right there, after the count went to 3-2, you're pretty much looking fastball all the way. If you're able to throw that slider like that, you have a great chance to get a strikeout.
And I think that's where a veteran catcher comes into play too, Tom, and he'll make him throw it on that count with first base open, even though he had pulled a couple into the dirt. First pitch outside to Cameron Maybin. It is ball 1. Maybin a .317 hitter for the spring. 1 on, 2 out. Padres leading 1-0. We play in the top of the second inning. It's an off-speed pitch that finds the outside corner. Ogando, a long look in as Brzezinski going through a series of signs with the runner at second. Foul tip, 1-2. Alexi trying to work around the 1-out walk and wild pitch. Another good block by Brzezinski, and it's 2-2 to Maybin. Ogando ready. Check swing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And we'll see if he stays in that same pattern. He got Hundley on a 3-2 slider. And he's run the count full now to Maben. If Maben keeps the inning going, Alexi Amarista, second baseman, waits in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch. Got him swinging. He went right back to it. Back-to-back strikeouts after the walk. Padres held scoreless. Bottom of the second coming up from San Antonio. Padres 1, Rangers nothing. Glad to have you all back in San Antonio. Nelson Cruz, David Murphy, and A.J. Pierzynski. It'll be the first 3 Rangers to do the swinging against Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, they've got a nice crowd tonight of 35,000 plus. There's also a basketball game in town, too.
Yeah.
Clippers were at our hotel last night.
I thought it looked kind of tall in there when we got.
I was on the elevator with Vinny Del Negro. Saw Blake Griffin at breakfast too.
Did you?
Yeah.
To right field and hit pretty well. Back to the wall, leaping and makes the catch. Will Venable up against the padding. 295 feet from home plate. Well, that'll rocket off the bat of Nelly Cruz, but it goes for naught.
That's one of those. You almost got a single on what normally would be an out. Slice the line drive and need to get it about a foot higher to get over the right fielder's head.
The one away, and here's David Murphy. See Venable going back with that left hand, trying to figure out where the wall was. And Murphy skies one to the gap in left center, but this one playable. Maben makes the grab. That's out number 2. The turf field here is, first of all, it's brand new, but it's also the same kind of turf, AstroTurf, that's down in Tampa Bay. But the warning track, even though it's a different color, is the same substance. So you can't really tell by running on it whether you're on the green part or the brown part, which you're supposed to be able to feel for the warning track. So you still have to use your hand to find out where you are with that wall. But it looks like there's a difference.
Yeah, if you're keeping your eye on the ball, you had no idea what you're stepping on. It does help you if you take a glance at it. You can catch the ball out of it.
Pierzynski swinging on the first pitch. He rockets one to center, but right there's Maben. 3 pretty well hit balls, but nothing going for the Rangers. After 2 complete, the Padres 1, the Rangers nothing in the Alamodome. On TXA 21 is sponsored by Sonic, America's Drive-In. This is how you Sonic. And by Southwest Kia. Check out their deals at southwestkia.com. The Alamo all lit up in San Antonio, and Pudge Rodriguez down here for some pregame introductions and acknowledgments. Pudge really doing a great job as an ambassador for the Rangers to baseball, and he's been everywhere lately. Saw him out in Surprise last week and down here, and he was in Arlington with a couple of speaking engagements this last week. So he is busy hopping all over the place. Alexi Amarista, the number 9 man, leads things off. And a rip and a miss. It's 0-1 as Alexi Ogando firing that fastball right on by him. Amarista, player who came over from the Angels last year in May for Ernesto Frieri. Got a play to the left. Frieri, of course, the guy that set the American League on fire for a couple of months. I mean, he was untouchable. And Amarista, the guy that the Angels sent to the Padres for Frieri. 0-2 pitch. In the air, shallow center field. Amos Martin in and over to his left. Out number 1.
Pretty good changeup that Alexi had Amarista way out in front of. A lot of sliders today, just like he did against Cincinnati. Anytime in the count, mixing in some changeups.
Well, back to the top of the order now, and Everett Cabrera, who popped out to start things off here this evening. Takes low and outside for ball one. And we were talking about the turf here, and it is an AstroTurf, the latest version of the AstroTurf. Low and outside, 2-0. 133,000 square feet of turf installed here. It's a custom playing surface at the ALAMODOME. And they hope to be able to use it a bunch more times. They'd love to get some consistent baseball going in here.
Well, after the game tomorrow, they'll roll it up, put it on a truck, and about 3 blocks down the road, they've reserved a rather large warehouse to store this. I guess with the hopes that they will be able to use it next year if the same weekend comes back again. Pretty expensive proposition.
Yeah.
Somewhere around $1 million to put all that out there.
3-1 the count. Ogando comes back to run the count full. Cabrera hitting in the number 1 slot against Alexi Ogando. Will Venable, who has accounted for the only run of the game, is waiting in the on-deck circle. Ogando's payoff pitch. Down the left field line, Murphy playing that way, over toward the track, slides and makes the catch. Nice play by Murph.
Well, when you're running fast and you have a long way to go and you're not sure if you can put on the brakes before you get to the wall, you know the ball is going to be close to the wall. One way to catch it and kind of stop at the same time is to slide. Kind of a safe way to make sure you don't smash into the wall.
And that's where having that the all turf on the warning track area comes into play. That would be a different deal because that was a gravel track. Sliding like that, wouldn't it? Be afraid of leaving part of your leg there?
You might lose a little skin on that. The aggressive outfielders, though, you don't see them shying away from it.
No, 2 outs after Murphy's nice play. The count is 2 balls and no strikes to Venable. Venable launched his 4th spring home run in the first inning. A check swing here on the off-speed pitch, and it's 2-1. Trying to find the technical name of the turf here. It's AstroTurf 3D-52 for you AstroTurf fans. If you're looking for some for your backyard. Very cushiony, very nice stuff. Like Tom said, it's not exactly a 75 cent a square foot proposition.
It's very soft when you go down on the field. The infield, I'm sure, will be a little bit slow. For the first time they've ever played baseball, it's a pretty good surface. Worst field, I think, one of the worst fields, not counting Pompano Beach. But we played an exhibition game in Miami at then Joe Robbie Stadium. Nolan was pitching in that game. The mound was just terrible. There was no clay. It was like dust. There was a big hole in front of the rubber. That was one day you just held your breath and hoped no one got hurt.
Yeah.
There's Nolan.
Ogando again, the payoff pitch. Hit hard, but right there is Beltre. Scooped out by Moreland. Nice play on both ends. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Alexi Ogando. First one he's had tonight. We've got 2.5 in the books. It's the Padres 1, Rangers nothing from San Antonio. Fans, you can suit up for spring training at the official online shop of the Texas Rangers. Has the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get set for spring at the official source, the TexasRangers.com shop. Some of the gear that is available. A lot of gear that we see around baseball now. A lot of the red and blue of the Rangers, and it's great to see. Mitch Moreland will start things off here in the bottom of the third. Eric Stultz back to the hill. Rangers have been held to 1 hit and 1 walk by Stultz. Mitch takes a knee-high strike. Moreland at 386 for the spring, the club leader in home runs and RBI, 4 and 13 in the power numbers. Off-speed pitch, and he hooks that foul. It's 1-1. We make that 0-2. Mitch, as we talked about, doing a real good job this spring against left-handed pitching, and that, it shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, Mitch is a very good hitter, period. And just the idea that all of a sudden he couldn't hit against left-handers was one of the baseball oddities that prevailed for a while, but he has pretty well taken care of that. Ron Washington, early in the spring, told Mitch to go out and have fun. He's going to be the first baseman, and Ron wanted him to look like he was enjoying the game. Mitch said that's all he needed to hear. Tapper foul at home plate. We'll come back and try it again. The skipper. Ron Washington, I don't think gets enough credit for his innate sense of what to say to a player to elicit a response that relaxes that player. And it's different for everybody, but Ron knows how to handle people and what to say to them and how to treat them. Now, I think you look back, and most of the time, good managers, guys that had winning teams over and over, had that ability to get as much out of the guys that are playing for them as you possibly can. Moreland whips one to left field. Moving toward the line is Guzman. And he hauls it in. That's out number 1. So Mitch going the other way, hit it well, but Guzman had him played pretty well in left field. That's out number 1. It will bring up Leonis Martin.
Last 5 guys hit the ball pretty well. David Murphy was kind of a normal fly ball, but Beltre hit a smash for a double play. Cruz, Brzezinski, Moreland, all with solid line drives to the outfield.
Martin takes inside for ball 1. Leonis playing tonight. Last night, Craig Gentry got the start in Arlington. And Ron Washington has said it will probably be Leonis Martin getting the nod on Sunday night. Rangers take on the Astros in the first game of the regular season. Swing and a miss, and down on strikes is Martin. That is the second out. It will take the Rangers back to the top of the order for Ian Kinsler.
Big curveball. Pretty sharp breaking curveball. Slow curveball. Looked like a pretty good pitch to hit about halfway to the plate. And it just kept breaking. Martin committed his swing and just couldn't quite catch up with it.
Well, for Eric Stultz, the first strikeout that the left-hander has had tonight goes along with 1 walk. And now here's Kinsler, who skied to center field to get proceedings underway tonight for the Rangers. Big, slow breaking ball. It is 0-1. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. The appeal down to first. And Todd Dishner said, yep. Rang that right hand up. It is no balls and 2 strikes. That's a little bit low. 1-2. Kins, of course, one of the 4 home runs for the Rangers in last night's ball game against Mexico City. The check swing, that pitch off the plate inside. It's now 2 balls, 2 strikes. And as we mentioned earlier, statistics from last night's game do not count for spring training stats as far as the Rangers are concerned. 3-2 now. Ian able to come back from an 0-2 deficit to run the count full. If Kinsler is able to keep the inning alive, you have the shortstop Elvis Andrus practicing his left-handed swing over there. Payoff pitch, got him swinging. Well, Stultz gets back-to-back strikeouts, and the Rangers are gone in order. He is now retired 7 straight. After 3, it's San Diego 1, Texas 0 from San Antonio. Now, welcome back to the top of the 4th inning here in San Antonio. 1-0. San Diego is leading. Alexi Ogando back to the hill, and he will face basically the middle of the order. Carlos Quentin, Yonder Alonso, and Jesus Guzman. Just one base hit in the ball game for each ball club. San Diego's, though, off the bat of Will Venable left the ballpark. That's the difference in the game.
The first batch of goodies, Buzz, all the way from East Texas. Kathy, I think it's Gaw, Nancy Fessler, Faye Whitlove, and Mary Ware. Thank you very much, ladies. Enjoy the ball game. And thank you for the nice pack of treats you sent us.
They ought to get a little special recognition going from East Texas to go down here to find us.
No kidding.
Good job.
Always appreciate it when stuff shows up on the road, which happens more and more now.
2-1 the count to Carlos Quentin. Quentin went down swinging his first time to the plate. Check swing, didn't mean to do it. It's fouled out of play, 2-2. Ogando last inning had his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. It has been well, not exactly an extension of how dominant Alexi was last time out, but better than earlier in the spring when he was up and down. Still a couple of spots tonight where Alexi has lost command of his pitches momentarily, but he's been able to keep the San Diego club pretty much at bay. Count's gone full here to Quentin, leading off the fourth. Payoff pitch. Low ball 4. Second walk issued by Ogando tonight. Quentin to first, and Yonder Alonso will come up.
First baseman Yonder Alonso.
He's had a lot of success throwing the slider behind in the count and not on a 3-2 pitch. The key for Alexi has been able to spot his fastball, throw his fastball over the plate. A lot of the fastballs today he's pulled down, low, away from the right-hand hitters and out of the strike zone. But he's had the last 2 starts, we've seen both of them. He's had an excellent slider. Last start, he's probably a little bit better with the command of his fastball than he has been today.
Yep. 1 ball, no strikes to Alonso. Alonso, a fly ball to left. Back in the first inning. Pitch a little bit off the mark. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Quentin at first after the leadoff walk. Stepping off a modest lead, the 2-0 pitch. And that is a knee-high strike. Jesus Guzman swinging a bat in that on-deck circle. Big rip and a foul back to the screen. It's 2-2. Padres leading 1-0. Ogando looking for that double play grounder. And the 2-2 pitch. Pulled foul outside first and just foul. A quick bat shown by Alonso. And Alexi Ogando dodging a bullet there.
Well, we were talking last time we saw Cincinnati. We saw Matt Lato's pitch. He was the starting pitcher from San Diego who went to Cincinnati, and Alonso is one of the players they got. Yasmani Grandal, another one. 2 middle of the order guys, they hope, for many years to come. Also got a prospect, pitching prospect in that. That was a good trade for both teams. Cincinnati got the top of the rotation guy they were looking for. San Diego filled in with a couple of really good offensive ball players, guys that could hit in the middle of the lineup. And they also got Edinson Volquez, who's their opening day starter. So you get a #1 starter for your team, a couple of guys that could project as power hitters in the middle of the lineup, another pitching prospect for one pitcher. And when you need extra players to help fill out your roster and become a good team in the future, that's a really good trade.
Ogando again with the 2-2. Another foul ball. It's just seemed kind of strange to me over the years, Tom, that San Diego has not had many years where they've been out of the cellar in the National League West, and their minor league system really hasn't produced the kinds of players you would think having all the high draft choices. This could be a double play. Ogando to Andrews. Back to Maloney.
He got that little tapper back to the mound with a good changeup. Oh, that's a positive pitch for him. Yeah, Buzz, that's probably got something to do with that trade to get two former #1 draft choices, Grandal and Alonso, middle of the order guys, hopefully for the Padres. That's what they're hoping. And there's the changeup that he threw. It tailed away from him, out in front of it, right off the end of the bat. A nice, simple little double play to erase that leadoff walk.
Well, the 1-6-3 twin killing, and now there are 2 outs, bases empty for Jesus Guzman. 1 ball, no strikes. Guzman, a ground ball to short. That was back in the 2nd inning. Takes the slider low, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3 is wide of the mark. And again, one of those spots where Alexei has just lost a little bit of command in these 3 pitches to Guzman. Not quite as sharp as he would like to be, and it's run his pitch count up. You can see he's going to throw his 70th pitch of the ball game right here, and he misses ball 4, a 4-pitch walk, puts Guzman aboard and brings up Jed Jerko. That's kind of a typical manager's response right there to a base on balls with 2 outs.
You get the leadoff walk, and then you erase him with the 1-6-3 double play. And I think from a manager's perspective, you're looking at the pitcher and saying, okay, you've got 2 quick outs, now go get the next guy. You don't want to see a 4-pitch walk like that.
Jerko, a big rip and a miss. It's 0-1. Jed Jerko walked his first time to the plate. He's down on the count now. No balls and 2 strikes. One thing about Jerko, he does not get cheated on those swings. He had a pretty big swing and he lets it go. Toss to first. That drives Guzman back. Crowd here pretty heavily salted with the Ranger fans. You hear them getting behind Alexei Ogando. 2 pitches low and outside. A lot of red and blue tees in evidence. Jerko waiting, and Ogando ready. There goes Guzman. The pitch hit high in the air, right center field. That's a short porch. Back is Cruz. He's at the wall. That ball's gone. Jerko going the other way. Hit a high fly ball that, in the shorter dimensions here, is scraping into the 2nd row, but it's nonetheless a 2-run shot. And San Diego on top, 3-0.
Yeah, it's probably a ball that was aided by the dimensions. Hit it pretty well. That's probably a warning track shot, though, in most ballparks. It's a fastball kind of up and out over the plate. He's trying to make some contact. Pretty strong kid, though. He gets the ball up in the air. Hits it probably about 365 feet. So it's probably a home run in some parts, in and out in most of them. The 387 sign is probably not quite 387, they say. That was supposed to be on the other side of the sign, so it's probably more like 375 right there.
But if you're Ron Washington, you're also saying, well, the dimensions didn't cause the 2-out walk.
No, absolutely
prior
not.
to that.
That's why he had that look on his face.
Nick Hundley swinging a foul tip. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. I was talking with Mike Maddox there to Ron's right. Mike's got that pitch counter in his hand. When you're throwing well, if a pitcher's throwing well for him, I don't think the clicks get done every pitch. When you're throwing poorly, sometimes he clicks that 2 or 3 times. Run that pitch count up a little bit. Swinging strike 3, and that takes care of it. Ogando gets the punch out. But not before Jed Jerko hits a 2-run shot. 2 runs on a hit, nobody left. Bottom of the 4th coming up. San Diego 3, Texas nothing in the Alamodome. Say 21 is sponsored by TXU Energy. The right things right now. 1-866. Call TXU. Hemisphere Park. Outside the Alamodome, or in the area. San Diego leading 3-0. They only have 2 hits, but both of them have left the cozy confines of the Alamodome. Solo home run by Venable in the 1st, a 2-run home run. And Jerko in the 4th inning. Elvis Andrus coming up now to start the Ranger 4th inning. Eric Stoltz delivers low and outside for ball 1. Elvis, an infield hit. That's the only safety the Rangers have gotten through the first 3 frames. Stoltz, the 33-year-old left-hander. This is high and outside. And the count goes to 3-0. Eric Stoltz has been around. He pitched in Japan for 1 year, as a matter of fact, 2010 with Hiroshima. Elvis fouls that out of play deep down the right side. The count now is full.
He's 33 years old. He's not a young prospect in their rotation. He's a veteran guy.
Well, twice he has been signed by organizations on a minor league free agent. Colorado signed him in that process in 2010, 2011. The White Sox did. This is low inside, and ball 4 puts Elvis aboard with nobody out. First time tonight. Rangers have had their leadoff man aboard. And Bud Black looking at things.
He didn't like that 3-2 changeup, or
no,
just the fact that he walked him?
I think a 3-0 lead, and you walk the leadoff man in the 4th inning. Not many managers are going to be happy with that. And Blackie was a pretty good pitcher himself, so he understands that phase of it better than most. 1 on, nobody out. Here's Lance Berkman, who walked his first trip to the plate. Good rip on the first pitch, and it's fouled out of play. I think Lance would like to have that one back, judging from...
A pretty good hanger to hit right there.
Andrus, a modest lead at first. The pitch is a strike. It's 0-2. Stoltz is check of first. Berkman able to check his swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Berkman handling the DH chores, which, at least early in the season, he will do so more often than not. Snap throw to first. Back standing is Elvis. Down 3-0 with Berkman and Beltre and Cruz coming up. Probably not the time you will see Elvis Andrus take off, unless he just feels like he can stroll into second without a throw. Breaking ball is low and inside. Throw. That was not in time. No wonder so many guys stole off there.
Well, that's what you said, unless he thinks he can get there easily. And he got there easily.
All these years, I had the wrong idea about good base stealing.
I was broadcasting a game. The first year I was broadcasting in Detroit with Mark Holtz. Benji Gill, I think it was Benji Gill was the hitter. And on first base was a call on the inside fastball. Was a very slow runner. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, Benji occasionally had a little problem making contact. The guy at first was very slow, and the pitcher kept throwing over to first base. So as any normal broadcaster, you get a little annoyed when it tosses to first base. And I say, if he's going on this pitch, I'll jump out of the press box. And Johnny Oates put out a hit and run. The guy, I don't even remember what happened to the hit and run, and I had to do a lot of talking to keep from jumping out of the press box there. I'll have to ask Benji about that after the game.
Yeah, you should.
It might not even have been Benji, but it was. I think it was Benji.
Well, since he's here, you might as well say it was Benji.
Sounds better.
Yeah. That way you can tell him that he almost caused you to have a broken leg.
Yeah, I guess the point is, no matter what it looks like, saying something like that always comes back to bite you.
Yes, it does.
You never know.
Yes, it does. Adrian Beltre hit a rocket his first time up, but it was turned into a double play by Everett Cabrera, shortstop.
And when Benji Molina needed the triple, he could have said almost anything. If he gets this triple, I will. Pick anything.
Yeah.
You would have said it.
And you would have lost whatever you said.
You would have lost it because there came the triple.
Well, in your defense, or whoever would have said that, that may be the only park where that could have happened.
Yeah, it was.
Foul at home plate.
It was also the only possible way he could have gotten it, too.
Yeah, hitting that triangle out there.
Center fielder practically fell down trying to get it. I asked Johnny Oates about that afterwards, and he said, well, just trying to make something happen out there. It's not the traditional time I would have done that. So we almost got me killed trying to do it.
A little tapper right back to the mound. Stoltz falls down, recovers, and then drops the ball. Well, Beltre, almost a carbon copy of the little squibber that Elvis Andrus had in the first inning. But he is aboard, and now the Rangers with runners at the corners and one out for Nelly Cruz.
A change up that he hit right off the end of the bat, just kind of cued it out in front of the plate. Catcher can't quite get to it. Pitcher, I don't know if he thought the catcher was going to get to it or not, but he misplayed it into what I guess is an infield hit.
Yep, sure is. Well, the tying run now for the Rangers at home plate in the person of Nelson Cruz, and Cruz lined out hard to right field, sending Venable right back to the wall first time up. Skies this one to right field. This should be deep enough to score Elvis. Venable with a catch. Elvis tags. The throw comes into second. And on the sacrifice fly, Andrews scores. The Rangers on the scoreboard. It's now a 3-1 San Diego lead. RBI number 10 of the spring for Nelly Cruz. Staying at first, Adrian Beltre. Now with 2 outs, David Murphy coming up. Ball 1. Murphy a fly ball to left center field his first time up. 0 for 1. Batting average hovering right around 300 for the spring. Two balls and no strikes. David Murphy, for the first time in his career, getting an opportunity to be the regular left fielder from opening day on. Another guy kind of like Mitch Moreland that Ron Watson said, look, it's their turn. They've done the job. They've proven they can play on an everyday basis, and now we'll start the season with them and see how it goes. Wave and a miss. And the count moves to 2-2. Stoltz comes set. And Murphy, left center field, sinking in a hurry. Here comes Maben, and together, Maben and Guzman, the ball drops between them. Everybody's safe. Beltre goes around to third. And Murphy on at first. I would think that's probably going to be an error on somebody out there.
Maben is a very good center fielder. I'm not sure if he called for it. Looked like a relatively easy play for Guzman in left field. It also looked like he probably heard some footsteps as he closed in on the ball. Definitely. Yeah, you can see Maben screaming for the ball, in which case, even though it might have been Guzman's ball, once the center fielder starts to yell for it, the left fielder has to pull up and get out of the way and let him catch it. And Guzman never gave any ground until right at the end and caused him to be unable to come up with the ball.
And they're going to charge Guzman with the error, and I think rightfully so.
Miscommunication.
Good job on the camera work, guys, to see Maben calling that ball all the way. So let's see if the Rangers now can take advantage of the 2-out error. A.J. Pierzynski up there with a count of no balls and a strike. Check swing on the pitch, low and away. Pierzynski hit the ball right on the screws his first time up, line to center field. Stoltz is checking Murphy at first. And in the dirt, nice block by Hundley. 2-1 the count.
Stoltz pretty much is the definition of a finesse left-hander, wouldn't you say?
I would say so, yes.
He doesn't throw the same pitch twice. He throws off-speed pitches and fastball counts, keeps it down, tries to make you swing at pitches a little bit out of the strike zone, change speeds. And he does throw a fastball. Sometimes he's not quite ready for it.
Yeah, that pitch kind of handcuffed Pierzynski, looking for something of the off-speed variety, and moves the count to 2-2. Left-hander to left-hander. Up the middle, into center field, a base hit. Beltre will score. Murphy will stop at second. And Pierzynski comes through and makes the Padres pay a little bit for that error. An RBI single. It is 3-2 San Diego.
Well, you've got an inning that during the regular season, if not even right now, is going to drive a manager crazy. I already saw the look on Bud Black's face when Stoltz walked Elvis Andrus to start the inning on a 3-2 changeup that Elvis laid off of. Then with 2 outs, they make the error, and it leads to a 2-run inning.
Dave Anderson talking to A.J. Pierzynski, a little lighthearted moment over there. That's a lot easier to do after an RBI base hit. Well, the Rangers capitalizing a bit. Put an extra run across, cut the lead to 1 run for San Diego. Now with 2 runners aboard, still 2 outs. Mitch Moreland will try and at least tie this ball game. Pitch, a fly ball to the left as he led off the 3rd inning. Foul tipped at home plate. It's 0-1. Be a nice time to get one of those hangers up in the air to right field.
Yeah, he had the hanger right there, but he didn't get it up to right field. Might have stayed a little bit too much inside for him.
Ground ball deep on the hole on the right side, but right there is Amarista, and on to first. That will do it. Rangers, though, come up with a couple of runs. They had 2 hits. There was 1 big error, and they leave 2. After 4, it's San Diego 3 and Texas 2 from San Antonio. Now, welcome back to San Antonio, where the Rangers have cut into the Padre lead 3-2 as we head to the 5th inning. And joining us now, Chris Medina. Chris is a city councilman here in San Antonio. And Chris, thanks for all the great hospitality. It sure is great Thanks for coming up here to join us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me in the booth. This is exciting for San Antonio.
Good. Well, that's the big thing about it. Big league weekend down here, first time this has ever been put on, and you've got to be pleased about the response you've had from the locals.
Absolutely. We are so excited here in San Antonio, and I think tonight's attendance and the enthusiasm of the crowds demonstrates our city's love for baseball, and it's very exciting.
Well, it's obvious throughout the years that San Antonio, a great sports town in general, first opportunity for big league baseball, and I think it's been a hit, huh?
Yeah, I think so. No pun intended. No,
right.
It's been a huge hit, and I know we're excited about tonight's game, and folks are excited about tomorrow's game as well.
Chris, tell us a little bit about San Antonio and why it's such a thriving community now.
Well, I think, San Antonio is a great place for folks to raise a family, and we're a strong military town, so we have a blue-collar feel, and we love our sports and football and baseball and basketball. So I think just the crowd tonight again demonstrates our love for all those things, and we're just so excited that it's been such a tremendous hit. Big league baseball here in San Antonio.
That's great. I'm sure you watched the Mayor Castro, throughout the first pitch. Do you have a critique on his form and how he threw that pitch?
Well, we didn't get to catch it. We were still parking. We missed it, but I know he was practicing, and
he got to throw to Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah, no, that's tremendous, and I know it's a good distance. I know that he's excited about baseball being here in town too.
Great.
Well, it's got to be an exciting time in San Antonio. The city is growing by leaps and bounds, and really the economy, pretty bad all over the country, rebounding now, but San Antonio has really fared very well economically.
No, absolutely. San Antonio has done, I think, a remarkable job, and certainly led by our mayor, to insulate San Antonio from some of the other economic ills, if you will, across the country. We've got a very strong economy here. Like I mentioned earlier, we're a very strong military city, so that helps tremendously. And we're, a lot of folks don't know, we're the 7th largest city in America. And
I'm one of those persons that would have known that.
Yeah.
7th largest. Wow.
7th largest, just under 1.3 million, or a little over 1.3 million. And we're growing. And we love, like I shared earlier, we love our sports, and we're excited.
Jason Frazier, by the way, is the new Ranger pitcher taking over for Alexi Ogando. Frazier now on, and looks to be the primary setup man from the right side right now. The line on Ogando, 4 innings of work, just 2 hits, but 3 walks and a couple of home runs in those 2 hits. 3 runs to Alexi's ledger day, 4 strikeouts, 78 pitches in 4 innings. Had to get all the stats in for the folks.
Yeah.
Got our stats geeks out there that if we don't get those in right away, they get upset. So now we'll get back to the important stuff. San Antonio. How important to the city has the Alamodome and what it has done been for the city of San Antonio?
The Alamodome has really opened up our city to tremendous opportunities across the country. We are a prime destination for large conventions that folks come to from all over the country. And the Alamodome has I think, evolved. And, initially there was hopes for an NFL team to relocate here. But the Dome has really grown in terms of being able to attract other things. We've had the Final Four here. We've had all types of major events here. And I think it's just a natural progression now that we're having Major League Baseball here. And again, I think tonight's crowds demonstrate that we can support future events like this.
And you would think that Major League Baseball, sometime in the near future, will take the number of teams up to 32. That seems to be a magical number as far as, league parodies and things like that. San Antonio will be right in the forefront of that line.
We will be right in the thick of it because we've got a strong market, we've got a strong economy, we've got a strong base of support here in San Antonio for our sports and our athletics. I think it would be wise for folks to take a hard look at San Antonio and invest.
And you're separated distance-wise enough from Houston and Dallas to have your own identity and stand on your own 2 feet.
Absolutely. We have a strong market of folks from South Texas and northern Mexico as well that love the national pastime, which is our national pastime, but they love baseball just as fervently. So, absolutely, I think it'd be great.
A double play turn there, very handy. Yeah, it's great. You know, we're talking about Ranger fans, and certainly a lot of them have shown up in San Antonio, out here in San Antonio. I would think the sales of Ranger gear has gone up a little bit in the last few days.
I know it for sure. It definitely did in my household. We had to go buy some new Rangers gear, and my little ones are here in the booth as well, and they're huge baseball fans, just like a lot of kids are here that are enjoying the game.
Great.
And this year, I know when we were down on the Caravan in January, and one of the things we were talking about at that time is the exposure of Ranger baseball on Fox Sports Southwest in the San Antonio area. First time that's happened, and really happy to have this as a big part of the market now. It's for Ranger baseball. Yeah. It's great for that exposure to be here. You know, a lot of the sponsors are really happy to get market penetration here in San Antonio that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I certainly want to thank our sponsors that I see. You know, our local folks like HEB and Valero and Frost. Just a great group of sponsors that we have here that help make this event possible.
So what's the overall plan for Big League Weekend? A yearly event, do you think?
We're hopeful. Yeah, we're hopeful. Again, I think looking at the numbers and looking at the enthusiasm for baseball, I think yearly would be great.
You have to think, Buzz, if they do it yearly, one thing they don't have to worry about is the cost of this turf, because they've already put the outlay for the turf, and it's just waiting for another one. So whoever puts on next year is going to have a chance for better profit, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. The template's been set. So.
Now if we just tweak the foul line a little bit in right field and move, either tilt the field a little bit or get a higher screen out.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were talking down behind the batting cage, that the one thing that they might try next year is to maybe block off some of the seats out in right field and make the wall a little bit higher. That's one thing that they thought about.
Well, it's really a good baseball venue, the sight lines and everything. Our really vantage point is a little bit different. Normally we're behind home plate, but this is kind of unique to see it from here.
And I'll have to say, you know, it's nice and cool in here, and I can probably only imagine that a place like this would be very nice in the dead of summer. Ooh. In the thick.
Yeah.
We've played some warm games before.
Yeah, you're exactly right. 72 degrees, about the 20th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would.
It's not bad.
Be a pretty easy sell for us, I know. 3-2 the count. Ranger trying to get Everett Cabrera. And the pitch inside, ball 4, a 2-out walk. Saw a couple of walks in the inning. But Chris, we'll let you go. We sure appreciate you taking the time to come in. And Chris Medina, a councilman for the city of San Antonio, thank you very much. And
thank
best
y'all
of luck
so much. Thank y'all, and we hope y'all enjoy San Antonio. And we want to say thank you to all the Rangers and Padre fans that came out today. So thank y'all again so much. Y'all done a tremendous job. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your hospitality. It's been super. 1 on and 2 out. Will Venable, 1 out of 2 with a home run. As Cabrera with good speed at first. Frazier working from the first base side of the pitching rubber. There goes Cabrera. The pitch out. The throw to second, and he is out. Well, the Rangers guessed it right. A.J. Brzezinski. Kind of like shooting ducks on the pond. Got him out of there. And that'll do it. So 3 up and eventually 3 down. Halfway through the ball game. The Padres 3, the Rangers 2 from San Antonio. 3-2 the score. Not a lot of hitting involved. Walks have played a big role in the scoring. A couple of home runs, the 2 hits that the Padres have. And we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Leonis Martin to start things off against the new right-hander from San Diego. That's Dale Thayer. They're a 32-year-old out of Fountain Valley in Southern California. Busy spring for the right-hander. This is second year in San Diego. The pitch just off the mark to Leonis Martin. Martin, a strikeout back in the 3rd inning. Ripping a foul. It is 1 ball, 1 strike. Rangers able to put together 2 of the 3 hits they had in that 4th inning, along with a walk and an error. Get their 2 runs. Padres, a 1st inning solo home run, and 4th inning 2-run home run. Off the glove of Thayer, up the middle, under Cabrera's glove, and safely aboard at first is Leonis Martin. Doubtful that once the ball was slowed down by Thayer, even if Cabrera had come up with the ball cleanly, if he could have gotten the speedy Martin.
Yeah, he would have had, the reason he had to rush like that is because he's thinking the same thing you're thinking, Buzz. I don't have much of a chance. I just have to go as fast as I can and hope I pick it and get lucky.
Now here's Kinsler. He takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Ian 0 for 2. Fly ball and a strikeout today. One ball and 1 strike. Thayer last year, 64 outings for the Padres. 2-2 mark with a .343 earned run average. The right-hander will drive Leonis Martin back with a toss. Thayer originally the Tampa Bay organization. 2011 played 11 games with the Mets before joining the Padres. Signed with the Padres as a minor league free agent before the 2012 season. One and 1 the count as Kinsler waits. Pitch out. And Padres guessing wrong with Ron Washington and Leonis Martin. 2-1. Normally, top of the order, Ron Washington would consider the hit and run, but Ian Kinsler, in his career, has not been a real good hit and run guy, because he doesn't hit all that many ground balls. But maybe things change. Brand new year here in 2013. And with Leonis Martin's speed, may see something going on here with he and Kinsler. 2-1 pitch. Foul straight back. Rangers and Padres again tomorrow afternoon. It'll be a 1 o'clock game, 1:05 to be specific. And both teams head off for the opening of the 2013 season. There was Martin. The pitch is low, a double clutch, and that removes any chance to throw out Leonis. Well, he had the afterburners kicked in going to second base that time.
Well, Gary Pettis has not only been working with Leonis on his outfield play, but also his base running. I want him to be able to take advantage of his speed, become a better base runner. And when Ron Washington talks about players that have improved the most, he talks about the 2 center fielders, Gentry and Martin. These guys that have really stepped it up this spring and become better ball players.
Yep.
He was very honest when he was assessing Craig Gentry. He said he wasn't sure if Craig Gentry was an everyday player until this spring. And the added power, the way he's enhanced his game, made him a kind of guy Ron would be very comfortable playing every day. And I think Martin's right there with him.
Again, the 3-2, and outside, ball 4. That puts 2 aboard with nobody out for Elvis. Good job by Kinsler to work that walk. So an infield single, and now a walk. And there are 2 aboard. We'll see if Ron Washington has Elvis Andrus bunting in this situation. A 3-2 San Diego lead. We play in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, late in spring training, you tend to play the games a little bit more like the regular season. If this was a regular season game, it would definitely be a bunt situation. Elvis has always had a lot of sacrifice bunts. You got the middle of the order coming up.
Elvis around the bunt, takes the pitch outside for ball 1. Is there a cutoff, like the second inning, fourth inning, fifth inning. We're playing in the fifth inning to where it becomes almost an automatic sacrifice.
I guess later in the game with these guys coming up, it probably is more likely to be a sacrifice situation. But I think Ron has shown over the years with Elvis in this situation, it almost doesn't matter. I think he's likely to do it early in the game. Elvis is not going to bat with a couple of men on in the first inning, but I think any time after that, third inning, if the game, depending on the score of the game, I think this is pretty much what you'll see from Elvis.
Play's going to be at third, and no, it's not in time. Off the bag is the third baseman, Jerko, and everybody's safe.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. I thought the ball beat him, but that's not the call he made, was it?
Nope.
Said he was off the bag.
Well, the ball did beat him there, but apparently he didn't have contact with the bag. You can see Jerko there trying to get back to the bag as he came in and was having a little trouble with the footwork.
It's tough to tell.
Yeah.
Foot must have been just in front of the bag. It looked like it was right up against it, but couldn't really tell from that angle. Not a great bunt by Elvis. You have to get a little bit farther. Love to roll it right down the third baseline.
Well, now the bases are loaded with nobody out for Lance Berkman. Lance 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. Martin, the runner at third. Kinsler, the runner at second. Andrus at first. And Berkman fouls the next pitch off. And Dale Thayer, the advantage in the count at 0-2. They haven't told us whether they're going to charge anybody with an error. Since they haven't, I'm going to assume it's just a fielder's choice to allow Andrus to reach on the bunt. No error. Call strike three. Second time in a row, Lance Berkman has been called out, and Berkman barking a little bit at Jordan Baker. Oh, a very big strikeout for Dale Thayer, one away. And Adrian Beltre coming out.
Well, Lance was called out the last time up on a pitch batting right-handed almost the same way. He's got a very good idea of the strike zone. If he's going to have a couple words with the umpire, pretty good chance it might have been a little bit inside.
That was probably the kind of pitch that you're going to get barking from either the pitcher or the hitter. If it's called a ball, you get barked at from the pitcher, and if it's not, then the hitter does that. Beltre, a looper into right field. Coming on very quickly is the right fielder Venable. He makes the catch, and that ball not deep enough to score Martin. And all of a sudden there are two outs with the bases full. And it's going to take Nelson Cruz to do something special here if the Rangers are to at least get even in this game. So a called third strike to Berkman. Beltre got jammed and fisted one into right field for a short out. And now here's Cruz, who is lined out and flied out. His fly ball last time up plated the first Ranger run of the afternoon, of the evening. That is chopped foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. A couple of home runs, 10 driven in for the spring. Pitch fouled away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the Elvis Andrus bunt, they will credit him with a sacrifice bunt. So there's no time at bat. And then a fielder's choice, no error on the play. Now the 1-2. Got him swinging. Boy, Dale Thayer does a pretty good job of working around a bases loaded, no out jam. The Rangers leave him loaded. A hit, a walk, and we're going to go to the 6th inning. It remains San Diego 3, Texas 2 in San Antonio. TexasRangers.com. You'll save 50% in select seating areas for most Tuesday home games. The first Tuesday home game is April the 9th against the Tampa Bay Rays. And it's also Capital One Bank Darvish T-shirt night. So get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com/specials. A lot of great promotions coming up this year, and it starts right out of the chute. A good opening homestand. The Angels in Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the Rays in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday an afternoon affair. Robbie Ross, left-hander, taking over on the hill now. Becomes the third pitcher used by Ron Washington here tonight. The spring numbers for Robbie. You remember Robbie was in competition for that number 5 starters role until last week. And they said we really need Ross in the bullpen as a left-hander. He's better suited right now for that reliever role. A butt to second base. Nice play by Kinsler, but he throws it wide at first. It gets by Moreland, so down to second goes Will Venable. Single and an error on Kinsler on the throw allows Venable to get into scoring position.
Well, there was no surprise that he was bunting. Looked like he was going to bunt on the first pitch, but it was too far inside. That was just a beautiful bunt. He had a great jump on that ball. He was anticipating it. He charged it. And on the dead run, he just had an awkward angle. He had to field the ball and almost throw it backwards toward Mitch. Mitch couldn't quite get it, a little bit offline. Almost a great play, but it's about as nice a bunt as you can make. Right into the runner. It's a tough play for Mitch.
So a single and an error. And with Venable at second, here's Carlos Quentin. And the first pitch is ball 1.
See how far in Ian is, then he has to throw it back. And Mitch, with no runner, probably could have stretched and caught that ball, but if he stretches to catch it, he reaches his hand right into the runner. That risks a major injury.
There goes Venable to third on a delayed steal, and the throw is in time. Well, Venable trying to catch the new catcher, Jose Felix, asleep at the switch. A delayed steal, a couple of steps, and then he took off. And Felix did a great job of throwing to Beltre, who made the swipe tag. Well, that is an excellent job on all ends of that.
You don't see a delayed steal at third base very often.
No.
Most of the time on that delayed steal, the runner will take a couple of hops, try to catch everybody up by surprise, maybe catch the catcher by surprise, maybe no one covers. Adrian catches it just in time, makes the tag on the run, and they catch Venable. Can't fool us.
The little fisted ground ball that Beltre has, slings it sidearm over to first. That's out number 2. Yeah, we don't get to see that delayed steal very often. That was very well executed by everybody.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen it at third base before.
No, I can't remember if I have it third. And you're probably right. It's not a real common thing, especially nobody out. Good job by Felix of getting rid of it to Beltre, and Beltre being in a spot where he could catch the ball before Venable had gotten to him with a slide. There's a good breaking ball that's in and over to Alonso. There's strike 1. Alonso, a fly ball to left, and a ground ball double play. Lefty versus lefty. He takes up high, and Ross now with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Good fastball to the outside corner. Robbie, the natural cut on that fastball away from a left-handed hitter.
Ooh. That pitch was a strike to Berkman, and that pitch was a strike right there.
That's more of a strike than what Berkman had. The 2-2. The breaking ball is wide, so the count is full now to Alonso. If he's able to extend the inning, Jose Guzman will be the next hitter for San Diego. Robbie Ross with a payoff pitch on the way. A little tapper that will go foul down the first base side. We'll come back and try it again. So Robbie Ross, after going through the majority of spring training in competition for that 5th starter spot, now backs off on his repertoire bid, goes back to the fastball, occasional slider. Kind of takes the two-seam fastball out of play and the straight changeup out of play for the most part. Swung on and missed. It popped out of the glove of Felix, but he grabbed it, made the tag, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, nobody left. 5.5 have gone by. It's the Padres 3, the Rangers 2 in the Alamodome. Back in San Antonio, Padres leading the Rangers 3-2. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and former UT star pitcher Houston Street is the new hurler for the Padres. Street originally from Austin and still lives down there. Second year now with the Padres. Spent 3 years with Colorado, enduring some injury problems. Came over to the Padres and had 23 saves for them in 40 appearances last year.
You know, thinking of the Street family, I just recently watched a tremendous special. It's an old special on Darrell Royal. And they spent a lot of time on the tremendous play, the pass that Houston Street made against Arkansas, the famous play that every UT player knows all the details about. Anyway, it was very interesting. Listen to Houston's dad talk about that play and how it was devised on the sidelines. Darrell Royal actually talked about that play way before it ever happened. And when they called it, the defensive coach said to everybody, to the defense, all right, get ready. In other words, this play's not going to work, so right. Defense, get ready. And they pulled the play off, but that was Houston's dad that made that play. He was also a very good pitcher for a baseball team.
Yes, he was. James Street played up in Boulder, Colorado in the summer ball. And,
did he?
Yeah.
Did you play against him?
Yeah, played with him.
With him?
Yeah. Played with he and Bert Hooten played up there, and Davy Chalk, and a lot of guys from Texas that played up there. David Murphy, starting things off, finds himself down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Murphy 0 for 2 today. He's reached on an error and flied to center field. Little tapper down the third baseline. Bare hand throw by Street, not in time.
Boy, that's a great play, though.
Sure was.
He didn't make the play because David beat it out, but very few pitchers are going to be able to make a play like that. He's very athletic.
Rangers have found a way down that third baseline and out in front of home plate to utilize this turf.
I think the last few games we've done, they've been working on that play,
yeah.
The swinging bunt. Watch how Street pounces on this ball, bare hands it, almost like Adrian Beltre would throw that ball, going away from first base. Didn't make the play, but it was very nicely done.
Not sure Bud Black is real thrilled that his pitcher, who has had a few arm injuries in his career, would make a throw like that, but you got to admire the effort by Houston Street. A line drive off the bat of Jose Felix into left center field, a base hit. So back-to-back singles. That's how the 6th inning opens, and the Rangers have the tying and go-ahead runs aboard with nobody out. And Mitch Moreland coming up. Jose Felix already a very productive day. He had that good caught stealing throw to third base and Will Venable. And now a single to back up Murphy's infield single. For the Rangers, by the way, now 6 base hits. They have out hit San Diego 6-3 here this evening. 1-0 for 2. He takes low for ball 1. It's a fly ball to left in the third, a ground ball to second in the 4th inning. He's taking some time, doing a little mental preparation as he steps back in. Now Houston Street is ready. Outside corner, knee high. Mitch taking a look down to third base coach Gary Pettis, going through a series of signs. Gary telling the runners on base, make sure that line drive goes through. The 1-1 pitch. 1-2.
Rangers left a couple of men out in the fourth, left the bases loaded in the fifth. And bases loaded, nobody out, couldn't score.
Pair of singles here. David Murphy at second base. Jose Felix at first. Mitch Moreland down in the count, 1-2 now with nobody out. Hard hit, fair ball down the right field line. Murphy will score. Felix being held up at third, into second with the RBI double. Mitch Moreland, and we have a brand new ball game. It is 3-3.
They threw the fastball by him to get strike two. It looked like a fairly decent slider down and in. Well, Mitch was able to get the good part of the bat on it and rip it right down the right field line. Down and in. As short as it is, we talked in spring training in Arizona, when the wall is 350 feet, 70 feet deeper than it is here, ball rolls into the corner, everybody scores, and a lot of times it's a triple, but not when it's only 285 feet. not that long a throw to get it back in quickly.
Definitely cost the Rangers a run, or at least an opportunity for one there. But second and third, still nobody out. And Leonis Martin takes a low and outside for ball one. Martin 1 for 2 at an infield single in the fifth inning. The Rangers have come back to tie it. They trailed 3-0 at the end of 3.5 innings. Pretty good rip at a fastball, and Martin fouls it straight back. A single by Murphy, a single by Felix, then the RBI double by Moreland. Mitch out of second base now. And over at third, Jose Felix. Nobody out. Rangers making a lot of noise here in the sixth inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But there's nothing shy about the way Leonis Martin swings the bat. We've seen that since day one when he came to the big leagues. Although when he started going south a little bit, the pitcher's starting to get to him pretty good. The swing got a little defensive, which is only natural. But there's nothing defensive about that swing right now. It's kind of the product of hitting about 360 for the spring. The 1-2. Lunging at that and fouls it away. Leonis Martin waiting. Houston Street. OK's the sign. Comes set. In the dirt. Nice stop by Hundley. And the count is even at 2-2. Hundley, very, very good defensive catcher. Houston Street grateful for that on that last pitch. Padres with nobody out, playing the infield all the way back, with the exception of the first baseman Alonso. Ground ball, Alonso dives for it. He has one. The only play he has is the first. It's not in time. In to score is Felix, safely aboard with an infield single is Leonis Martin. The Rangers lead 4-3.
Alonso made a nice play and then looked home to see if he had a play, and that little check of home plate was what allowed Martin to beat it out with his speed. The Rangers a number of infield hits today. Cuts it off, looks home, not for very long, but that's all it took for Martin to sneak in ahead of the throw with Houston Street covering. Oh, what a great shot.
Wow, that's great.
His foot beat him by about 8 inches. Nice play.
Well, 4 consecutive hits, 2 runs across, still nobody out. And here's Ian Kinsler for his 4th at bat. Rangers have taken the lead. It's 4-3. Runners at first and third. Kinsler 0 for 2 with a fly ball, a strikeout, and a walk. A throw to third. Now they're going to call that a balk because the third baseman was not at the bag. They outlawed the throw to an unoccupied base or even a fake to that unoccupied base last year. And because Jerko, the third baseman, was not at the bag to receive the throw and the throw was not to the bag, they called that a balk. Now, Bud Black.
I wouldn't have known that was a balk, even with the guy on third.
Unless there's a runner going from second to third or first to second, you can't throw to an unoccupied base.
Yeah, but so that's because he wasn't holding him on?
Because the runner wasn't in motion going anywhere.
Oh.
You know, there was no defensive movement to the bag to make the play on a runner that was advancing.
Oh, you mean unoccupied by the fielder?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you meant unoccupied by a base runner.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
So you got to hold the guy on.
You got to be at the bag.
Okay.
In other words, it has to be a throw to the bag, and the fielder has to get there to take that throw.
Is it different to first base?
No.
Like if you're playing, can you throw to first if the guy's behind the bag?
If he's breaking to the bag and you throw to the bag, yes.
But if he's just standing there, you can't throw him the ball? See, Bud Black's asking the same questions I'm asking.
Yep.
The umpire's giving him the same answers you're giving him.
Well, I hope so.
Although Bud's still not satisfied. No. I'm satisfied. Because you convinced me.
It doesn't make sense. He's probably saying, okay, what about that third to first deal? You know, you fake the third and back. Well, that's not the same thing because it's been outlawed this year. You can't do that anymore. And Blackie got his say. I don't think he's convinced yet, just looking at the look on his face. In any event, the Rangers have taken a 5-3 lead now. And on the balk down to second goes Martin. Count is 1 ball and no strikes to Kinsler. It's out of play to the right. So a little bit of everything here this evening. Rangers wore out the infield turf with little toppers. Made those count. Martin going to third. The throw is not in time. In under the tag is Leonis Martin, his second stolen base of the evening.
They've had 2 infield hits, a balk, and now a steal of third base. And still nobody out.
And now the Padres bring their infield all the way in. And Kinsler a rip and a miss. It is 1-2. Houston Street pulling the string on Kinsler. Street okays the sign. The 1-2. Right back to the pitcher is knocked down. Jerko, the throw to first, and they did get him. What a play by Jerko to come in, field that ball, and then throw off balance to get Kinsler at first.
Not an exceptionally hard hit ball, but it kicks off of Street. Martin can't go anywhere. He has to hold his ground at third. A nice quick throw by Jerko. Another close play at first, but that one nipped the in by just a bit.
Black out there just to make sure the Street is okay, and they're not going to take any chances. First of all, he's gotten his pitch count up a little bit.
As much as anything, yeah.
But that right shin's probably barking at him a little bit after taking a one hopper that eluded his glove. So a pitching change underway. And all right, well, you wondered how they did this. Now, here it is. This goes back to March the 11th when they put this down. First of all, they They got the turf going down. They got that all squared around. Then they had to put the infield down and take it up again to have an arena football game in here. Take all that back out. Now here goes the dirt. That is under the padding that makes the infield area. Put the cutouts down there. Anyway, that's kind of a time capsule or time lapse, if you will, from March 11th to today. And here we are. We are in the 6th inning of this ball game, and a little nubber off the bat of Elvis Andrews going to be handled right at the bag by Alonso. He will step on first, and Brad Brock has a very easy out of Elvis Andrews. Staying in third is Leonis Martin. There are 2 away.
Rangers are working on their infield hits, boy. They've had a couple this inning, and the last 2 outs have been close. That ball was hit right off the end of the bat, cued it down the first baseline. Could have hit the bag. The one hit Houston Street, bounced to Jerko, and made a nice play, or it would have been another infield hit. I like the long ball better than the small ball, so I'm looking for Lance to launch one right here.
Yeah, this is a kind of a literal small ball. and Lance Berkman will love nothing more than that, because he has been called out on strikes each of his last 2 times to the plate. He is 0 for 2. Facing Brad Brock, the 26-year-old. One hopper that Alonso picks off. He will take it to the bag himself, and that'll do it. But the Rangers, with 4 consecutive hits to open the inning, score 3 times and leave 1. We're going to the 7th inning. It's the Rangers 5 and the Padres 3 from San Antonio. And 34,500 on hand here tonight. 34,641. The first night of HEB Big League Weekend in San Antonio. Nice turnout tonight, and they have seen their favorite team, the Rangers, come back and take a 5-3 lead. As we head to the 7th, Tanner Scheppers has come out of the Ranger bullpen and will take over on the mound. Well, Robbie Ross worked an inning, and he is the pitcher of record for the Rangers as Scheppers gets ready to work in his 9th spring game.
Yeah, Tanner kind of turned around his spring. He was a little shaky early. I think even Ron Washington had some questions on him based on early spring training. But in his last 3, 4, 5 outings, he's turned it on and made the ball club. And they're counting on him with his mid-90s fastball, power arm, potentially a late inning guy. I think even down the road, I think in the back of everybody's mind, can he be a closer? Certainly an 8th inning setup guy. Might not have that role right now, but with his arm and physical ability, that's what they hope he can develop into.
And one pitch, he gets Jesus Guzman to ground out to short. Here's Jed Jerko. This ball inside. Jerko, a 2-run home run his last time up. Left the ballpark to right center field, so he's 1 for 1, having walked back in the 2nd inning also. Rangers putting 4 hits together, 4 consecutive hits in that 6th inning. Scoring 3 times to take a 5-2 lead, 5-3 lead, excuse me. And that pitch a bit low. It's 2-0 now to Jerko. Scheppers, the 26-year-old right-hander. He's back to the plate and misses. It's 3-0. That has been the one thing that has prevented Scheppers from really excelling at no matter what level he has been at in his professional career. There's a fastball strike. Is the inconsistency of his command, the fastball command.
Yeah, I think the thing that really turns it on for him is if he can command his fastball and just get that fastball to run in on a right-hand hitter a little bit, get a little bit of movement on it, because he's got a great arm. He's got a good curveball to go with it.
And Nelly Cruz takes care of that fly ball from Jerko, and there are 2 outs. And that's the kind of pitch you're talking about right there, that fastball. Enough late movement inside to where Jerko couldn't get the head of the bat to it.
Yeah.
Even in a fastball count.
Yeah, if you're a hitter and you're looking for a fastball and he's throwing 95 miles an hour and he throws it in the location he wants with some movement, then you've got your work cut out for you.
Yeah. Well, here's Nick Hundley. Hundley has had a tough evening at the plate. He has struck out both times that he has come up.
And the opposite is when you're looking for a fastball and it's 95 miles an hour, but it's out over the plate. just up a little bit and straight, that's usually the one you can tee off on.
Looper down the right field line. It's going to be trouble. Kinsler can't make the catch. Tried to make that basket catch, and it tipped off the end of his glove. And I think Ian will be the first one to tell you that that ball's got to be caught.
Yeah, that's a catchable ball.
And that's going to be ruled an error on Kinsler. Well, the first Ranger error of the evening, and Ian a little bit of little chagrined at that one.
Yeah, I would have to say over the last 10 years, and there's been a lot of infielders involved, the toughest play for our infielders is a pop-up in the outfield that they have to go back on.
Yep.
It seems like that play has given all infielders that we have a tough time. Not all. Not Adrian Beltre. From what we saw the other night, not Leori Garcia either. He's got his uniform.
Fastball just ticked off Cameron Maybin. He will go to first base. So down to second goes Huntley. 2 aboard with 2 outs for Alexi Amarista.
I think one of the infielders that we had when he was still playing shortstop in the prime of his career that had all sorts of problems going after a pop-up was Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He got to the point where he didn't even want to go back after a pop-up.
Do you think part of that might be the wind currents in the ballpark?
Maybe.
Get
I don't know.
shy?
I don't know. You know, I don't know that it was just specific to our ballpark. I think it's something that, you know, in Alex's case, that was just a play that he had a problem with. And you wouldn't think with a guy with speed and athleticism that would be that big a deal. But Ian likes to make that play, kind of that basket catch like he tried right there, and occasionally he'll fail to come up with it.
This line drive to left field sends Murphy back a few steps, and David hauls it in. Another side retired, an error and a hit batter, no damage. And Shepard's able to send the Padres out. Stretch time in San Antonio. Rangers 5, Padres 3 from the Alamodome. We have you all along this evening. It's been a good ball game here in front of almost 35,000 in San Antonio. Rangers leading 5-3. And for Texas, it's like it'll be Jeff Baker to lead things off. Ron Washington going with the changes now that he had slated before the ball game. So Baker will pinch hit for Adrian Beltre and remain in the ball game.
Yeah, Ron Washington is an announcer's dream in spring training because when he makes a replacement, that replacement bats in the same spot in the lineup. You don't have to worry about where he's batting. Some managers, Buck Showalter used to drive us crazy because he would change everybody and they'd all be batting in a different spot in the lineup.
Luke Gregerson, the right-hander now on the hill for San Diego. And the pitch inside to Jeff Baker. Gregerson appearing in his 7th spring game.
Hasn't given up a hit yet.
Ground ball to the right side he has now.
I said yeah.
He hadn't faced Jeff Baker yet. Guy hitting about 7,000 for the spring. And Baker, a leadoff single in the Rangers' 7th inning, is aboard. Well, nobody in Arizona could figure out how to get Baker out. And Luke Gregerson can't figure out how to get him out in Texas. Well, the Rangers with their 9th hit of the evening. And it'll bring up Jim Adduci for his first at bat here tonight. Adduci taking over for Nelly Cruz. Runner on the move, and the hit and run aboard on, and with Baker aboard, and Adduci fouls it away. We'll come back and try it at 0-1. Adduci, with those spring numbers, really opened some eyes, and Ron Washington liked what Adduci could do. And he's not just a 1- or 2-dimensional ball player. He can do a lot of different things. To first base, now they're going to try and get the sliding Baker. He is safe under the tag as the throw went down to second after the putout was made at first. That removed the force play, and Baker reversed his field and got in under the tag.
Yeah, he just panicked and threw the ball too quickly. Ball's hit hard. There's the out. but he threw the ball so quickly it was before the base runner was almost maybe a third of the way to second base. Gave him time to go right back to first base. You got to tag first base and run at the runner, make him commit before you make your throw.
Now Julio Bourbon coming off the bench to bat for David Murphy.
Tag the bag, just turns and throws before the runner's even halfway to second base, and now Jeff Baker looked like he was going to be out, just lifted his right hand and put it right over the glove. That's Kyle Blanks playing first base now. Might be wrong on that.
Yeah, Kyle Blanks. And a foul tip at home plate with Baker on the move, so he'll have to retrace his steps. And the count is 1-1 to Julio Bourbon. Yeah, a couple of defensive changes for the Padres. We'll catch up on those here in just a moment. There goes Baker again. The pitch in the dirt and sliding in with a stolen base this time. Hit Jeff Baker. It's third time, well, fourth time that he has started towards second base and had to reverse himself. This time he's in with a stolen base. Well, count of 2-1 to Bourbon. 1 on, 1 out. Rangers batting in the bottom of the seventh inning. Looped in the air down the third base line, and that drops about 10 feet into foul territory. We'll catch you up on the defensive changes. Jonathan Galvez has come into the ballgame, taking over at second base for the Padres. Talked about Kyle Blanks. He's now the first baseman. Big guy over there monitoring the first base side of things. At third base, Alexi Amarista moves from his second base spot over to third base. And the new center fielder is Rico Noel. Came on as a pinch runner in the top of the seventh and stayed in the ballgame. Pinch ran for Cameron Maben. Foul straight back. Bourbon staying alive at 2-2. Time called momentarily, and that's something come out of the Padres bullpen onto the field. Now we're set to go. Gregerson comes set. A check of Baker at second. Ground ball. Nice play by Gregerson to spear that hot shot. On to first. That's out number 2. Reacting pretty quickly to a ball on his bare hand side. Got that glove over there in a hurry, and Bourbon tossed out. Two gone, Jose Felix. Now up for his second at bat. Felix came into the ballgame as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning and immediately singled. Was part of that 3-run uprising for the Rangers. And he goes after the first pitch from Gregerson with no success. It's 0-1. Gregerson will look back to second. 0-2 now, the count to Jose Felix. Rangers 5 runs on 9 hits. Padres 3 runs on 3 hits. Jeff Baker at second base. And a little number foul off the bat of Felix. We'll try it again. Anderson, the fifth pitcher used this evening by Bud Black. Right-hander's ready. And Felix pops it up. On the infield, a towering pop-up. Shortstop Cabrera making the call and the catch, and that will do it. Rangers get a lead-off single and can't do anything with it. Baker left stranded. On to the eighth we go. Rangers 5, Padres 3 from the ALAMODOME. Top of the eighth inning. Rangers on top by a 5-3 count. And new Perler on the mound now. It's Michael Kirkman taking over. Chance to see Kirkman coming out of the bullpen is Buddy Black getting a further explanation of what has transpired here tonight. He's asking questions, and that's the home plate umpire, Jordan Baker, doing his best to answer things. But he said, hey, here's what I saw. What did you see? You saw something different than I did. Nah, you didn't. We're okay. Yeah, that's fine. Spring training, whatever.
No grudges.
Well, Michael Kirkman on for his 7th outing of the spring here.
Well, with all the games we've done, have we seen Michael
yet?
No,
we have not. I was just thinking.
We've seen some guys every time,
yeah,
but we haven't seen Michael yet.
Yeah, where's Derek Lowe? We've got to get him in here. I seem like he's on every time we have a shot at him. So Kirkman firing strike one. And Everett Cabrera, who is 0 for 2, is at the plate. Had to walk his last time up. Rip and a miss. And the count moves to no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, just like Gentry and Martin have been so impressive position player, Mitch Moreland position player wise, I guess one of the pitchers that you put in that same category would be Michael Kirkman. Everybody's talked in rave terms about how he's commanded his fastball and the quality spring that he's had, giving everybody the confidence that I don't think Ron would hesitate to use Michael in the 8th inning if the circumstances were right.
Kirkman gets the ground out. That was Brett Nicholas, by the way, the new first baseman that handled that. A whole new team out there for the Rangers. And Washington going to all the substitutes now. Nicholas taking over at first base for Mitch Moreland. No, one away. And here's Will Venable, who is 2 for 3. And the changes for you. There's Jeff Baker, who stayed in the ball game for at third base for Adrian Beltre. Shortstop, Gilder Rodriguez. Second baseman, Greg McClett. And at first is Brett Nicholas. A fielder, Ryan Strasburger. And the center fielder now, Julio Bourbon. And a new right fielder would be Jim Adduci. Fastball on the outside corner. Pitch by Michael Kirkman. It's 2-1. From the line, Michael Kirkman deals. And just missed the outside corner.
Well, Will Venable has shown many sides of his offensive game tonight. A 420-foot home run and a beautiful bunt single.
Looped into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Bourbon over to plate on a hop, and Venable, with his 3rd hit of the night, is aboard with a 1-out base hit. Well, folks, opening week continues April 8th through the 10th when the Tampa Bay Rays are in town. Rangers hosting Tampa Bay. The series concludes. It's a 1:05 start on Wednesday afternoon. And you don't want to miss the first Nolan Ryan Beef $1 hot dog day of the season. Call 972-RANGERS for tickets today. 1 on, 1 out. Carlos Quentin with his 4th at bat of the evening. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. It's this one in the air to left field. That is hooking down the line and going foul.
That's one from here, from this angle. You have no idea if that's fair or foul.
None.
From behind home plate, you know it's foul right off the bat. Here's a different angle. See it hooking well, foul.
The 0-1 the count to Carlos Quentin. Down at his shoe tops, 1 ball, 1 strike. Quentin, along with a walk, has struck out and grounded to third. Kirkman will check Venable at first. We're up and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Quentin, the guy the Padres got from the White Sox, thought he would fill a very big void in the power department for them. Injuries have gotten the best of him the last year and a half, but the Padres are certainly hopeful that he is over that now. And as Tom said before, they're not rushing him back right now. They want him to be completely healthy before he gets back into the lineup. And hopefully he can prevail for the majority of the season and stay healthy. Ground ball, Rodriguez to the bag on to first, and a 6-3 double play. Gilbert Rodriguez gets it done up the middle, and Michael Kirkman works around the 1-out single. Nobody left on base. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Rangers 5, Padres 3 from the ALAMODOME. Texas Rangers baseball on TXA 21 is sponsored by Wendy's. Stop by Wendy's for a Baconator or Son of Baconator. You decide how big you want to go. And by SportsCityToyota.com. Now our waft up here in San Antonio, that's us up there. The normal football press box, it's great because we're right on the 50-yard line. Unfortunately,
not much action on the 50-yard line today.
There's not a whole lot out there. Our angle off here to the side, it is a unique perspective. I did some games from this angle in Old Tiger Stadium. Remember the auxiliary press box was up on the roof?
Yeah, you did
above
a game
third base.
there.
We did several CBS radio games from up there. Huh. And, you know, the angle was kind of like this. You were up much higher, but I felt like I had to have a seatbelt on because I lean over here and I'm out over the field almost.
Yeah.
It was a little
in
scary.
These games, the one thing that's hard is trying to get the changes, because from behind home plate you can see the on deck guys.
Right.
It's a little bit easier. From out here, it's tough to pick them up. Luckily, we got Chris Blake helping us out with all the names today.
Brett Nicholas, a ground ball up the middle. Nice play on the run by Cabrera. And Nicholas shot down, and that's how the 8th inning begins for the Rangers. New pitcher, by the way, Anthony Bass, benefiting from Everett Cabrera's nice play behind the bag. Bass, the right-hander, the 6th pitcher used by Bud Black tonight. Then Eric Stultz, who worked the first 4, and then Dale Thayer, Houston Street, Brad Brock, Luke Gregerson, and now Anthony Bass. And here's Ryan Strasburger for his first at bat. Strike 1. And a rip and a foul tip. Austin Hedges, by the way, the new catcher for San Diego. No, that is not Austin Hedges. Right number, wrong player. And Strasburger down with a swinging strike 3. Now 2 away. And Greg McClatt will get an at bat.
Buzz, I don't know if you checked the NCAA scores at all, but if you did, you probably know that the Michigan Wolverines won in overtime tonight against the Jayhawks.
Oh, are they still playing basketball?
They really are.
That was a big game. Congratulations to the Wolverines.
I wonder how many people were there.
A couple, probably.
That was at Cowboy Stadium.
Yep. Yeah, I don't. That was the first game, right? And they were going to have the Florida Gulf Coast game.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Battle of the State of Florida. 1-1 pitch to McClat. Chopper to the right side. That's cut off by Blanks. On to pass covering. It's not in time. And McClat aboard with a base hit.
Yeah, Greg was flying down that line, boy. Might have been an easier play for the second baseman. Although Kyle Blanks made a nice play. He backhanded it and made an accurate throw. But McClat was just flying down to first base and beat the pitcher.
And again, the Rangers wearing out the carpet.
They've got the infield hit, boy. That must be what Wash is working on late in spring.
Yeah. You got to have, first thing you have to have is some speed. Yeah, the Rangers definitely have that, especially with some of the younger guys. Gilder Rodriguez taking a strike, his first at bat. Rodriguez taking over for Elvis Andrews. Elvis was 1 for 2. He was in the middle of a lot of things, though, for the Rangers. On base and snap throw to first. Back with the dive as McClat.
Here's where I bet you $1 million that McClat's running.
You would do that here?
I'm going to bet you money that I don't have, rather than say I'm going to jump out of the clubhouse. Jump off the press box here. The pitcher knows it too.
Now, what happens if he gets picked off?
That's okay.
Oh, is it all right?
That's okay.
Then you can say he was going to run anyway.
It just makes the time of game about 5 minutes less. Speed is a major part of his game. Oh, no. Oh, no.
They're working on that infield single, and they've got it down again.
Well, he might steal third. Nah, probably not with 2 outs.
Gilder Rodriguez.
It's uncanny how many balls the last 3 games that we've done have been just like that. I can't even count how many infield hits. There's 2 this inning. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6.
That's 6.
And they've all been after the 4th inning, after the 3rd inning.
And now it'll be Yangervis Solarte's turn to see if he can get it done. Solarte will step in as a pinch hitter for Lance Berkman. The DH slot is the one that Solarte now will occupy. And first ball swinging. He didn't hit it on the ground. That was his first mistake. Way up in the air, and Amarista.
He almost had an infield hit.
Almost did. Amarista doing a good job of going into foul territory, coming back into fair territory, and the Rangers are done in the 8th. No runs, 2 hits. 2 left. To the 9th we go. Rangers by 2 in San Antonio. The Rangers leading by a couple, and they have, I'm not going to say mashed the ball tonight, 11 hits. It'll look like that in the box score, though, won't it, Tommy?
As we just said, 6 of them have been infield hits.
They won't put that in the box score.
Actually, it really hasn't been a great offensive game for the Rangers. They left the bases loaded and nobody out 1 inning.
Mm-hmm.
They had, I believe it was Martin on 3rd with nobody out. Nobody out a little bit after that. Couldn't get him in. But they got enough of them in to have a lead here with Joe Nathan on the mound. Joe
Nathan trying to close it down here tonight, and Kyle Blanks will start things off. And in a 2-run game, you'd much rather have this big guy starting the inning off where he can't tie it with a home run. He is kind of all or nothing, or he has been early in his career anyway. Big guy at 6'6". Working against the Ranger closer, Joe Nathan. And the first pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Check swing, and it's a strike. 1-1. Blank's having a good spring. You see that 3 home runs, 14 driven in. Fastball, and that's just off the plate. 2-1. Blanks goes 6'6". It's listed at 264. Sellersville, Pennsylvania. To center field. Coming on is Bourbon. Now puts the brakes on as the ball carries a little bit further than he thought. And Blanks is out number 1 here in the 9th inning. Now Jesus Guzman will face Joe Nathan. Rangers, with a win tonight, have a chance to finish the spring at a 500 level. They are 15-17 with a couple of ties, so a win tonight would make them 16-17. And tomorrow's final game of the spring give them an opportunity to have the first 500 or better record since 2009. Rip and a miss. It is 0-2. But if you'll remember, 2010, 11, and 12 were not bad years in the regular season. So spring training records, you take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go back over a number of years and see all the teams that won the Grapefruit League or the Cactus League and how many of them were playoff teams. Kansas City had a great spring, and I think they're going to be a contender this year.
It's inside, 2-2. Yeah, you would think with the young players they haven't had a problem in the last several years scoring runs. And pitching had been their, especially starting pitching, had been their real downfall. And they appear to have addressed that pretty handily.
Yeah, if their starting pitching is good, their bullpen, they've got some great arms out in their bullpen, too.
Nathan, a little toss to first. And the Padres now down to their final out. Nathan now will work to Jonathan Galvez, young infielder that had come on for Jed Jerko. Galvez in limited playing time, pretty good numbers. Nathan goes to work. Strike 1. Tomorrow's game will be interesting from the standpoint of see who Ron Washington is going to put on the field, because he said that he'd like to give his regulars the day off and have them very fresh for Sunday night's season opener against the Houston Astros. Wash, of course, has a list of about 45 guys that he can choose from that are with the club here in San Antonio. Fastball just inside, 2-1 the count. Derek Holland will get the start for the Rangers. He'll be opposed by Jason Marquis. And again, that's a 1 o'clock Central Daylight Time start right here. Rangers Network. That ball's blasted to left field. Going back is Strasburger, and that ball is gone. Jonathan Galvez leaving the ballpark. That is the 3rd home run of the night for the Padres. They have accounted for all 4 San Diego runs. It's now a 5-4 Ranger lead.
Well, that is pretty pumped up going around the bases. That would be too. A fastball inside part of the plate, put a nice swing on it, just lined it right out of here. Fan was pretty pumped up too.
Ball to John Baker. Come in and then caught last half inning. 275 for the spring for Baker. So Nathan had the same reaction that we had and Wash had. Where was that pitch? Or something like that.
It's funny seeing Joe Nathan out on the mound and Jose Felix coming out, patting him on the back, saying, "Hang in there, big guy.
Yeah. Come on now, settle down. We got him."
That's what the catcher's supposed to do.
Yep. 2-0 pitch. And it's 2-1. Yeah.
There are some veteran pitchers.
back.
There are some veteran pitchers that we've both played with and against that would have told the young catcher, "Get back behind the plate, mind your own business."
He wouldn't have gotten halfway to the mound.
You might have been one of them.
No.
No.
I let him get to the dirt. Nathan, a big sigh, and the right-hander deals. 2-1 pitch is low. It's 3 balls and a strike. Joe Nathan in danger now, putting the tying run aboard with 2 outs. John Baker, the hitter. And Nathan back to it. And the pitch is low. Ball 4, and the Padres do indeed get the tying run aboard. Enrico Noel will be the hitter. Now that's one area I think Ranger pitchers will look back tonight and say, we didn't do a very good job. That's the 6th walk that they have issued to the Padres here this evening. And it's maybe not figured as heavily into the scoring as it could have, but still the Padres with 4 hits in this game. 3 of them have been home runs, and one of them a 2-run home run after a walk. Ball 1 to Noel.
Mike Maddox signaling down to the bullpen to get somebody warmed up. Just like Houston Street came out early, probably because of pitch count. I think they're saying they have to get someone warmed up because they don't want this close to the season Joe Nathan throwing too many pitches either.
There's a fastball that just off the outside corner. And again, Felix is going to go out and say something to Nathan. Colin Ballister, right-hander, is going to start loosening in a hurry in that bullpen. Now, you can only see the lower half, but that is Colin Ballister. You have to trust us on this one.
Well, when they built this stadium, they definitely didn't plan for a bullpen, since they didn't plan for a baseball field either.
2-0 the count. Nathan ready to work. That is popped up. This ought to do it. Gilder Rodriguez going out, calling for the fair catch on the 45, and he puts it away. Rod Washington, Huxford, Jackie Moore, and for Dave Magadan and company as the Rangers get back to within a game of 500. They win this contest by a final of 5-4. Rod Washington handshakes for all the coaches, and the players come out, get the players too. A good job of stringing together what was given to him tonight. Rangers able to hit 11 base hits, even though some infield variety played big in this, but they got the job done. 5-4 the final. We'll be right back to San Antonio and wrap things up. Rangers over the Padres from the Alamodome.